Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my 2024 NFL playoff and Super Bowl predictions for the 2024 NFL season. These are my predictions as of the preseason, so these are subject to change very greatly, but this is what my thoughts are before the season has begun. So let's get right into it. First off, we have the 2023 to 2024 NFL playoff picture. We had the Ravens at 13-4 atop the AFC, with the Niners at 12-5 atop the NFC. And then we had the Bills, Chiefs, Browns, and Dolphins at 11-6, with the Texans and Steelers at 10-7. Six of the seven playoff teams in the AFC were within one game of each other. In the NFC, we had the Cowboys and Lions at 12-5, Eagles at 11-6, Rams at 10-7, and the Buccaneers at 9-8. Much wider spread in the NFC for who made the playoffs. I have about 5 of the teams in each division staying consistent going into the 2024 season. I have the Chiefs staying in the playoffs, and I've developed a more normal-looking spread of wins, even though the AFC will probably all be within 2 games as they have been in the last couple of years. And this is generally a more normal-looking spread of wins than we've seen recently. I have the Dolphins at 13-4 and the Texans at 13-4, the Ravens at 11-6 in the 4 seed, the Bengals and Jets at 10-7, and the Bills and Steelers at 9-8. In the NFC, you have the Niners at 14-3, the Lions at 13-4, the Cowboys at 12-5, the Falcons at 9-8, Rams and Eagles at 11-6, and the Packers at 10-7. There's a couple teams individually I'd like to go over. Kansas City has a relatively easy schedule this year, and Patrick Mahomes had a couple of regular seasons with not his normal number of wins in a row. So I think that their regular season is going to improve for Kansas City. I think that they're going to go 14-3 this year with their relatively easier schedule. They're going to have a strong year. Dolphins and Texans, I have both going 13-4. Both of them also have relatively easy schedules. The Texans division is not particularly strong, and although they are going to be playing the 1 seeds in the AFC, I don't think that the 1 seeds from last season are all the best teams in their respective divisions. I don't think that the Bills are the best team in their division this year. I actually think they're the 3rd best. And overall, I think Houston's schedule could be much harder. As for the Dolphins, I do expect them to win the division. Well, I don't expect them to win the division, but they're my pick right now, as the Bills are uncertain with all of the changes that they've made and all of the players that they've lost. And the Jets, we really haven't seen them play with Aaron Rodgers yet. So the Dolphins are my pick to win the AFC East currently. The Ravens at 11-6, I think, is fair. I think that the entire AFC North is going to be within 2 games. All 4 teams in the AFC North are going to be between 8-9 and 10-7, or 9-8 and 11-6. I have the Browns outside looking in right now. I think that they'll probably end up with 8 or 9 wins. And the Steelers, I just can't imagine them going below 9 wins. I can also see them winning 10 games very easily. They have a very solid team. I don't see them winning much. That's why I have them at the 8th seed technically, but I do think that they'll have a strong year. I have the Bills at 9-8. The Bills have the hardest schedule in the league. It's not particularly close. They've lost all kinds of players on defense. They lost Stephon Diggs on offense. They're going to take a lot of time to figure out who they are as a team. Unless Josh Allen really is the guy, I don't think that they're going to have 11, 12, 13 wins. I think 9 or 10 is going to be their ceiling for this season. They could have good playoff success. I'm not doubting their playoff possibilities. I'm just saying in the regular season, they're not going to have a league-defying number of wins, you know. In the NFC, we have the Niners also at 14-3 with the Lions at 13-4. Dallas Cowboys at 12-5, the Falcons at 9-8. Oh, sorry, I already went over this. The Niners have a much easier schedule this year than last year. I think that they're going to cook. The Lions at 13-4, I think, is pretty fair. They also have a relatively easy schedule, surprisingly, for being the 1 seed. I think that they're going to be better than last year. I think that their team's going to gel even more. Last year, they got 12 wins, and they dropped a couple of games they should have won. I think that this year they won't drop anything. They're going to play to the best of their abilities the entirety of the regular season and secure that 2 seed. The Cowboys, I have going 12-5 once again. I think that their regular season is going to be very strong, but when the playoffs come around, you never know what's going to happen. I think that the exchange of Tony Pollard for Ezekiel Elliott is going to be bad for them. Elliott's old, he's slow, he's not going to be as good as Pollard's been. The Falcons at 9-8, I think that they will win their division. Matt Ryan is good enough to have a strong, potentially Pro Bowl worthy. Not Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins will have a potentially Pro Bowl worthy season with that cast and crew. This is going to look much more like the Matt Ryan Falcons that we're used to than the Falcons we've seen the last couple of years. The defense is not going to be phenomenal, but the Falcons are going to be good enough to make the playoffs. The Rams are going to take a slight step up from last year in the regular season, but I still think it'll be up and down. I think they'll have some kinks to work out on defense. And the Eagles obviously need to recover from their horrendous end of the season last year. And the Packers are going to stay consistent with how they finished off the year previously. Moving into our playoff predictions. This is my divisional round matchups. I have the Chiefs and the Niners both having their bye weeks. I have the Dolphins beating the Bills in round 1 of the playoffs. I have the Texans beating the Jets in round 1, and I have the Ravens beating the Bengals in round 1. As for the NFC, I have the Lions beating the Packers to move on to the next round. I have the Cowboys losing to the Eagles, and I have the Rams beating the Falcons. So with that being said, I think in the Chiefs-Ravens matchup, it's going to be a close game. I think that Kansas City is going to once again be Kansas City, and the Ravens are once again going to fail in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has not proven yet that he can win a playoff game, and Patrick Mahomes has not proven yet that he can lose a playoff game. So I think that the Chiefs should win that one. Houston versus the Dolphins. I think that this should be a win for Houston. Houston, I think, is going to take a massive step up on offense, and if their defense can even come close to the top 10, even sniff the top 10, Houston's going to be a major contender. I think that the 49ers should be able to beat the Eagles. The 49ers generally play very well against the Eagles, and they generally don't lose before the divisional round if they are healthy. The 49ers, or before the conference championship, they usually make it to the conference championship when they are healthy. And I don't think this year will be any different. As for Rams-Lions, this one I am picking an upset. I'm picking the Rams to beat the Lions. I think that the Rams are going to have a very surprising year. I think that their offense is going to be even better than it was last year, and last year it was phenomenal. And that defense just needs to figure it out throughout the season in order for the Rams to be a top-caliber team. Moving on to the conference championships, we have the Chiefs against the Texans, and we have the Rams against the 49ers. In this one, I have the Texans beating the Chiefs. I picked this last year as well. I did pick the Texans to beat the Chiefs earlier on in the playoff predictions. When we do get towards the end of the season, I'll probably start picking Kansas City to win basically every game in the playoffs. But this is a preseason predictions. I like having some wild card teams doing well. And I think that picking Kansas City against the 49ers would be the most boring picks ever. So I am picking Houston to beat Kansas City. I think that if anyone in the AFC has the chance to dethrone the Chiefs as the AFC champions, which they've won however many years in a row, I think it's Houston Texans. I think it's CJ Stroud. I think they can go on in there and they can blow the roof off of that place. In the NFC, same situation. The Niners have been running the NFC. I think if there's any team this season that could beat the Niners, I think that the Rams have the best potential to be the most balanced team of the NFC. I think that the Rams, again, Kyron Williams, that offense is just going to wipe the floor with every opponent. I think they could put up over 30 points against the Niners defense, and I think that their defense would need to just hold on in order to win that matchup. So in Super Bowl 49, my final prediction is that the Texans will beat the Rams 40-38. The Texans are my pick for this year. I usually try and vary my picks every year. I don't like picking the number one team, but Houston's pretty high up there. I just love CJ Stroud. I love what he's doing with the Houston Texans. I love the way that the Texans are organizing their offense around him. I just think that the Texans are going to have a phenomenal year this year. And then the Rams, I think I could be hyping up the Rams too much, but I think that the Rams are going to come back to their Super Bowl form. I think Matthew Stafford's going to want to try to get back into that Hall of Fame conversation, and a second Super Bowl appearance will definitely do that. I also think that these two could be the two players, CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford, along with Patrick Mahomes, will be the main MVP conversation. I think that these two quarterbacks are going to have breakout seasons. Not Matthew Stafford can't really have a breakout season at age 35 or whatever, but they're going to have strong years, and they're going to be in that conversation. So Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.